Hi there. I'm Crazy Kid, a competitive fighting game player, a Twitch streamer, and now a YouTuber, I guess. Today, I'm going to be doing my second Dizzy guide. This one's going to be all about neutral rather than her pressure. Um, I'm going to teach you how to zone. I'm going to teach you how to use her buttons in neutral. I'm going to teach you how to anti-air, combos off of the anti-airs. And most importantly, I'm going to teach you how to end your combos in a way that leads you to advantageous situations so you can continue to play neutral well. All that being said, let's get right into it. So, Dizzy is a zoner. I hate to break it to you, but she is. And she wants to play the game from far away from you. Now, like I said in my video, because of certain moves, chestnuts, her up close pressure is also extremely good. And she has all right mix as well, and her strike throw is very good. I actually first want to rectify some things that I said in my last video that are wrong before we get into the actual Dizzy stuff. So, in my last video, I said to end your combos like this. And that's wrong, because off of ice, if you see, they have such a high gravity scaling that they hit the ground incredibly fast, like right away after you would do the 2D. So this actually isn't a meaty. You can see that. I'll show you here. I can actually throw them before the fish hits. So the fish is definitely not a meaty. But this in itself is actually a pretty good Oki situation by itself, because if you didn't know, this is very similar to the setup off of throw that I showed in my original video, which honestly, even if you land a 2D like this, it might not even be worth it to go for the mix. You might want to delay it. If you see here, look at the claw. Once it hits the seam in her dress, then you can cancel into fish. Nope, too early. See there? And you'll know it if you can land a throw. It's pretty tight to land the throw too, but if you can land the throw before the fish hits, then you'll know you'll have the setup. And of course, it's the same thing that I showed last time where you can 2P here and it's reversal save. And you're also like super plus on block. And honestly, this setup is probably better than her mix off of 2K2D like this. Because she gets so little off of this mix. This mix is like a good round ender because it is a stronger mix-up, but the reward you get off of it is nowhere near as good as this. The risk reward here is so insane for going for throw. I also have ending your combos with this isn't terrible, but there are better things to do, and you also cannot end your combos with run-up 2D into 50-50 mix. Unless you just want to say you're not going to mash. But me personally, when I see you jump, I'm going to mash 2P and then up Dolphin because I play Mei. I do have one more setup to make up for it, though. I'm going to probably do a whole video on this whole setup later, but this is the basic idea. Essentially, in the corner, you can throw, dash forward 2 and 4K into 2P like that, and it's reversal safe. The biggest problem here, the biggest problem with this setup is its difficulty, actually. I'm going to make him throw on wake up here. And you'll see that in order to get this to not lose to throw on wake up, I did it too well there. You have to be really tight. I'm too good at this right now. I've been practicing this before. But yeah, like if you're even a little bit late, you'll get thrown. And that's not fun. But if you get good at it, like I have, really rewarding on hit, because there you get a slump. And it's really, really good. And also, they can't mash on the fish, even without the 2P. So just keep that in mind. But I think the first thing I want to say is that, like I said, how do you end your combos? I think that's the most important thing. So let's look. I like this combo as an example. You all have seen this stuff, but I don't believe in Wings of Light. So I'm going to show you this setup. So you could, in fact, do this. Or no, you could in fact go for this combo here. And then go for setup into your combo. And let me get him off of throwing on Wake Up. But you could also get way more damage and 90% of the and a better situation. I feel like this situation is honestly just as good as the strike throw here. There's very few reason to not go for ice into a microdash H Mikel sword. If you, this combo here, by the way, microdash close slash after setting up the 2 and 4P. The close slash does more damage, but if you want an easy version, you could just go 5k dash cancel. But yeah, I'll do that one because this one's easier. And it's just for demonstration purposes for the mix. The hardest part of this combo is honestly microdash into Mikel sword. You can do it without microdash, but microdash always makes it super consistent. And it's a very small microdash. It's a lot smaller than you think it is, because the ice keeps your momentum. And then you go back into ice, and you do what I like to call a re-ice. So, anytime that you get a hit with ice, ending it with Mikel sword into, and then comboing it back into ice is really good. In fact, even if you just land a random Mikel sword, even if it's not counter hit in neutral, I'm pretty sure you can just go straight into ice and get an OTG ice like that, or not an OTG ice, but you can get an ice hit, and you'll get free setups. And there's more places where you can get ice too. And trust me, it'll become obvious why I'm so focused on ice. So if we just go into super and we don't break wall, which that is another thing that I actually said, you can do a meaty icicle. And if I have them do guard after first hit here, I'm really not great at super inputs. I'm really bad at the TG input. Especially when there's a quarter circle back input like this. But yeah. If you do a meaty icicle is very plus. And you could do it, and you get a free ice setup. I guess I forgot, but one thing I did say in my last video that I actually forgot to talk about is that ice is that you can't get a safe jump on hard knockdown wall break. The reason why I thought you get a safe jump is because I was playing Dizzy Dittos, and Dizzy's super is incredibly slow. So like IDJK actually does work on Dizzy super, it doesn't work on other characters. So like, what do you want to do here? So like, what do you actually want to do here? Well, honestly, in most cases, I'd avoid breaking the wall unless it's going to kill. Because a lot of the times, instead of breaking the wall, you can go into freeze, and you'll get a slump. And you can get a 4-way mix off of slump. I'll probably add a video about 4-way mix in general. So then off of this, you're going to run up, and you either want to block to beta DP, you're going to do chestnuts because it's plus. It's your free plus frames button. I guess you can also do close slash, but close slash is minus. And then the final thing you're going to do is you're going to set up your fish of choice. Most of the time, your fish of choice is going to be 2 and 4K, because 2 and 4P is not useful unless they're cornered, because you know, if they're cornered, then you get really dumb stuff like that. But if they're not cornered, but there are some matchups like Ino and Zato. P-Fish is really good for if like Zato's trying to spam fly, and if Ino is trying to, you know, do any dashing, P-Fish will get them because they go into the air and then it just hits them and they can't move forward. But yeah, usually you're gonna do like K-Fish. You can also do like just Fireball, but the problem with Fireball, we look actually let's move on to our normals actually. First I want to look at our normals. You have 5H disjointed and active. You just throw this out when you think someone's gonna like run up 5KU. You have Far Slash, which is really good at a very specific range. This range here, if you do this on block, there's not a lot they can do. And I said that a lot in my video. But it also works as an anti-air when your opponent is this far out. When your opponent is around where Kai is, you can just dash in and Far Slash, and you'll cover that area really well. And you can usually combo into freeze, and we already saw freeze combos. If you get freeze off of anything, then you can do freeze. You can do freeze into ice floor into micro dash. You always get this. And then you get ice and so much corner carry. And ice is good. I'll explain it in a bit, but ice is very good. So that's what I mainly use Far Slash for. 2S is frame 10. That is all you need to know about it. It is her fastest button at this range, so it's really good on round start. It does lose to May 5D on round start. That's kind of an L, but a lot of moves do. And 2S's biggest problem is how do you like combo off of it? It doesn't even combo into 2H. So I've been doing a lot of this. It's not a combo, but it true strings on block. And you also have, of course, you can hit confirmant into S Mikhail Sword. And then you have 2D. So 2D you wouldn't think is crazy, but 2D is a wild move. Look at this. Walk back. Look at this. Look at this. I can walk back a bit and still 2D. You know how crazy that is? There's only a few characters that can do this. One of them is Bedman. Yeah, but like she just has a wild 2D. And of course, on normal hit, you go for 2D into throw mix because it's max. If it's max ranged, you also don't get mix here. You actually want to go for the 2P versus throw setup that I showed at the beginning. By the way, extremely broken because the only way to beat this setup here is to fuzzy tech. The only way to beat both the options is to fuzzy tech, and you can still backdash, and you could always, you know, go into P fish and then bait the backdash and get like a full combo with counter at 2H, but it's hard baiting it, you know? So that's what you do off normal hit. You could also go for S Mikhail Sword for damage, and it puts them full screen, which is a good situation. But honestly, unless you can get ice full screen, I'm not sure that it's best to give up this mix. Like if you can get ice floor off of a hit, rather than getting mix, then it's pretty good. But this one, like the mix is still, her strike throw is still incredibly good off of this setup here. It's still kind of ridiculous. So I'd say go for 2 and 4K. And because you're not going for meaty fish, because like I said, the meaty fish setup isn't actually that crazy of a setup. It's honestly better as a round ender because it is like a true mix. If you delay the low, it's a true mix. But the real crazy part about 2D is what happens when you counter hit it. So let's say you're trying to hit a 6P or a Far Slash or just any normal. You can get 2D, you can get counter hit 2D, 2 and 4 H Mikhail Sword into the full shebang. And you get re-ice there if they don't get wall splat. So this combo is not easy to do. A lot of times that happens, but this isn't the worst case scenario either. Like, what else were you going to do off of counter hit 2D? I guess you go for close slash. That's not bad. But honestly, I go for this one most of the time. Because it's just so good. And you see, I'm not even that good at it. But if you get it, you always get crazy damaging corner carry off of it. Now, the next important thing to do is what do you get? And the next important thing to do is look at her specials. So I already talked about P-Fish versus K-Fish. P-Fish is obviously amazing when they're cornered because you get stupid combos like this. And then you get to like do whatever you want. Whatever you want off of this setup. But yeah. Most of the time, K-Fish, what does K-Fish do is the real question. So we already talked about P-Fish in the matchups where it's good. It's also kind of good in Gold Lewis matchup because it keeps him from JDing. And JDing is one of his best pokes. This is also one of your best pokes, by the way. If you want to press a button, I didn't really say like what was a good poke. This is a good poke because it's fast, but 5k is a great poke. And you can do 2k if you want to low, but it doesn't have a lot of range, so you have to be careful with this button. But 5k, obviously you cancel into 2D. So this is the button you press when you don't know what to do in neutral. But K-Fish is good because it requires an action from your opponent. So if they just sit there and let K-Fish go after them, then you start your best zoning. Then you either start your best zoning or you get to be up close and pressuring them, which are both terrible situations for your opponent to be in. I'll explain why them blocking this from so far away is so messed up, but you at least know that you can run behind Fish. And Fish loses to low-profile moves, so like if Kai stun dippers and the Fish tries to chomp him, he'll go under it. May 3k does, Soul Vortex does, a bunch of, what is it, Elk Hunt does, a ton of low-profile moves beat it. That's the general consensus. Same with, they also beat this Fireball too, so you have to be really careful about low-profile moves. And K-Fish, essentially, they have to attack or jump. If they jump, then they air dash at you, and you can anti-air them. Now, what are the anti-air options? Obviously, you have 6p, but this move, kind of bad. Low-key, don't use it. 5p is not a terrible anti-air. It whiffs super fast, and it's super low committal. Doesn't hit crouchers, but, you know, that's pretty normal. But honestly, if you want a fast anti-air, 5k. This move, even at the very tip, you can do 5k and it will always link into 6h. And then off of, you do 5k, 6h, freeze. And then you do into the Michael sword. You do the free, and then you do this, you know, this whole thing. Into re-ice. You know? And that's really good. Really, really good. So they don't want to challenge this 5k because it whiffs too quickly too. This move has a huge hitbox. It whiffs very quickly. It's super low committal. Honestly, the biggest commitment about this 5k is that you have to be standing to hit 5k. So like lows can catch you, like once again Kai Stun Dipper, you know, stuff like that. So jumping isn't really a big option for them. They basically force themselves into an awful situation when they jump. When they jump, honestly, if you see them jumping, unless they're right next to you, if you see them jumping, just throw out the Fireball. It'll beat their air dash, and it'll beat them double jumping, and they can't land because Fish will get them. And it'll make you plus. So that's what Fish does. They have to run up and hit Fish. And if they hit Fish, that's where 5H comes into play. 5H is a huge disjointed move. So if they try to run up and hit Fish, you just 5H. And of course you get freeze off of that, but honestly, you're probably going to get a counter hit on 5H. So then just go into ice so you can go into floor. It is infinitely better to go into ice so you can get floor and then get this combo into re-ice. So you see how that works. And you can also do moves like 2S if you want more speed, because this move is also disjointed, I'm pretty sure. It's not super disjointed, but like if you want to cover that area, especially if they're trying to 3k, like if May's trying to 3k under this, or Kai's trying to Stun Dipper or Vortex, this move's also fairly active, so you can just 2S as they try to go underneath this. And on counter hit, 2S gives you normal combos. You get this, you get this, and other things. All pretty good stuff. Actually, I think off of... So yeah, you get a little bit of damage off of this if you sink some resources in. I didn't actually know that. That's great. So pretty good move on counter hit with resources, and like all right without resources. You get like 2S 2H into freeze, 2S 2H into S freeze, and then refreeze setups. So yeah, that's like the basic idea around fish. That's what fish gives you for zoning. Now let's talk about the big move, chestnuts. So in zoning, I'm gonna have to do a couple things to explain how good chestnuts is. So let's look at Kai here on block. So I have him set to stun dipper, charge stun edge for one of them. So let's obviously look at what happens if you block it. Burst. We're just gonna have him block. So you can only block for so long. You have to make a play here, and it doesn't just take a play, it takes several plays from full screen to get in. Just if I'm spamming this. It's like the block string infinite all over again. But even more messed up, because they have to guess right multiple times to get in. There are a few options in the game that if they hard read you doing fireball into fireball, like if I do this, that I'll get hit for. One of the better options, honestly, as you probably saw, is stun dipper. But even stun dipper loses at this distance. Of course, it's at a much more reasonable distance. It's gonna hit me. So the reason why I didn't talk about these moves in zoning is because they go perfectly well with this move. And you all know what happens when you get hit by this move. You essentially, what you have to do is make sure that you can hit confirm this move into 6-8, into Ice Floor, and then you just do re-ice. And then you throw Fireball again. And now they're in an even worse situation because Ice Floor is already out. And Stun Dipper doesn't work anymore. That's the funny thing, is the high committal moves that beat Fireball stop working once the floor is frozen. Once the floor is frozen, you can no longer do anything. And I can just punish that easy. At closer ranges, Fireball into the regular one will lose. So unless you're at like exactly close, like full screen, it'll beat you there, see? But you can also do this. Obviously that's a hard read, but at full screen it's even more powerful because it doesn't matter. And you don't need to be exactly full screen for this to happen. You need to be just most of the way out. I think from this range it should. Yeah. But like you can't really do anything after this. They have to like air dash at you, and air dashing at you is a terrible idea because Fireball into Fireball beats that. So now let's look at another thing about chestnuts that's a little absurd. So here's Charge Stun Edge. A lot of times people will try to zone you back when you do this. And this seems pretty effective at first glance. Unless I hit double Fireball, which Chestnuts just beats it because it's Chestnuts. Or maybe I try to react and do this and get a full combo. So even without considering anything, zoning them is hard with this move specifically. But I want to show you this move because you can do that. It's like a parry. It's pretty tight timing. But the startup of Chestnuts beats like every projectile other than, I think, Nago Clone and like super projectiles. So, like, if you want to start offense, someone throws out a fireball. If someone throws out a fireball, you can just react and do this. And you can do it with like any projectile, and it's just such a jarring thing. They just get through your projectile and win. So then they have to commit to things like throwing out stunnage and then stun dippering, which is, as you can imagine, probably not a great option. So this is the basis of your zoning. If you ever played Cagliostro in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, that's what this character reminds me of the most when they're zoning. So when on block, essentially the idea is just do this forever. This fireball is plus on block. It covers air dashing. It covers jumping. The only thing it loses to is if they dash block close enough, they can punish you, and which is fine because you just start hitting your long range buttons and pushing them back more with stuff. And like because it's plus, if they dash block, like this is probably the farthest, like right outside where it's safe. You can dash block there, unless they reaction stun dipper you here. But that's like a Kai and Mei thing only. Very few characters have an option like that. You can run up and start doing pressure, and at any point, you can throw out K-Fish, and now they have to deal with both K-Fish and Fireball, which this is what I like to call the diaphone. He loves doing this. But using Fireball to cover your K-Fish, essentially, it's really hard to hit this K-Fish here because without the Fireball hitting you. You essentially are tanking you essentially have to tank both of these. Or make a hard call out. If they see you do K-Fish and they run in, this will lose. So that's the big thing. That's the biggest issue with this setup. So this setup gets you in, which is really nice. Or if you really want to, just be evil, you can just use K-Fish to just zone more. See how far back they got pushed? Like, here's pretty scary zone. This is where Kai can, like, run forward and hit Far Slash and hit me out of Chestnut Startup if I'm not careful. If I get this off, like, look at how far away I am. Look at how far away he gets pushed. And it gets even worse the farther you go back. There's not really much they can do about that. They end up full screen. And then you also have this move. This move can be air dashed over and air dashed, and it can be stun dippered under. But it's just kind of like if they're trying to fireball you, instead of trying to parry, do Chestnut's parry, sometimes an easier thing is just hard calling out their fireballs with this. They showed it in the trailer of beating Gunflame. It beats a whole lot more than Gunflame, a whole lot better moves than Gunflame. And on counter hit, this move is a little silly. Here, wait. Let me get this combo. Oh no. So on counter hit, this move gives you like so much reward. And this is mid-screen. I'm reminding you, this is mid-screen. And that's mid-screen. And in the corner, when you're in the corner, and I don't mean like in the corner, I mean like anywhere in the general vicinity of the corner, you get 2k 6H and into a full combo. So like this move has super high risk, but it's also super rewarding. I know I said this already, but Icicle Meaty is actually really good. See how active that is? And anytime you get Icicle Meaty, most of the time it's off of like super hard knockdown, or it's off of this. You know, when you end your combo with this. And then you end it with like Meaty Icicle, and then when you end it with Meaty Icicle, you're plus, but you're so far away, it doesn't really matter. I guess you could try going for like this. Or you could try going for Icicle into Icicle again. But honestly, the best reward here when you get Meaty Icicle is to go Meaty Icicle into Ice Floor. And now it's time to finally explain why Ice Floor is so good. So, let's look at what happens when I hit a Fireball. Not even on counter hit. I just land a Fireball. Nothing. Nothing happens here. You can get a Meaty Icicle. If that's what you want, so please. Here, let's put him guard after first hit. And that's actually not bad. So now that I think about it, this is pretty awesome. Because you get ice, mostly. And really what you're playing here off of Fireball on hit is either Meaty Icicle or you're just gonna set up Fish. If they don't, because remember, if they don't run at you after you set up Fish, you get good setups, and this Fireball will put you mostly full screen. So this makes it really hard for them to commit. If they get hit by Fireball at most ranges, it makes them really hard to commit to a hard read like a run-up Stun Dipper there would be basically the only way for Kai to hit me here. And remember, Kai is one of the best options at dealing with this Fireball and Fish because of Stun Dipper, because of Stun Dipper being stupid. But now, as I'm sure you can imagine, what does a Fireball landing when... That's what it looks... This is what a Fireball looks like when there's ice on the floor. And even better, honestly, a lot of times what I like to do off a Fireball is just go into this combo. And look at how much corner carry, how much damage. I mean, it's not crazy amounts of damage, but that was a full screen plus unblocked projectile that you can frame trap off of from full screen, and he got hit by it. And I took him from center screen to the corner. Just from him getting hit by it. And if you don't remember that routing, it is Fireball into Freeze, into the Microdash Mikkel Sword, and then into Refreeze, Re-Ice. And now I have this again, so be wary what happens next time I do a Fireball. So yeah, Ice is insanely good. And now we have this move. So I already showed you one of the uses for this move. This freeze. But there are a few other uses. So the main thing about this freeze is that it hits closer. So like I can do stuff like this. And get a super meaty icicle here. If I delay it just a little bit more. Shoot. He has too much advantage, I guess. But the other great thing about it is it gives you an OTG. So like, I'm pretty sure can you not OTG off throw? So it gives you a nice OTG. Does quite a bit of damage and it sets up Ice Floor. So if you don't want to do mix off of throw, just go into Ice Floor like this. And you're just free. Actually, I do have one question. If I do an OTG into, can I do a meaty after the OTG? Shoot, this is actually not an easy thing to do. Yeah, but like you can do OTG into Ice Floor. The other thing is, like, this is a really good button off of your normals. Like there, there's not much you can do here. Even if you blocked both hits. Like Make and Dolphin. Wait, no, what am I doing? No, block switching disabled. I want guard. I want all guard. But like here, it's like a good block string ender. And and you might ask like, well, why would I do that on block when I can do S Mikkel Sword? And here's where any character with a low hitting move also comes into play. So unless, I guess that's too fast. If you're not careful, you can get Stun Dippered underneath H Mikkel Sword Oh wait, let's see if it does it work for Espekel Sword? Okay, so it works off of a lot. Espekel Sword works off a lot of buttons, but Espekel Sword doesn't get you much on block. It puts you at a very minus situation, and it has nice pushback, but like they can get in if they rush their way in with a lot of characters. So a lot of times you want to go for H. Mikkel Sword, which beats mashing because it is huge. But that loses to Stun Dipper, and a universal way that the universal thing that this loses to, universal except for Pod, I guess, is IED into JH. And because you have such bad defense as Vizzy, them getting an IED, getting a full combo, and then putting you in the corner and then running offense on you is extremely good for them. So it's well worth the risk of reading a single Mikkel Sword. So you have to be careful when you use this move in block strings. And that's where this comes in. If they jump over this, this actually has a pretty large hitbox. Let me show you. If I get him to jump here, it hits really high. I'm gonna get him to stop stun during, but and it's +2, by the way. Because it's air blocked. So like usually when they block this, they're plus. But like this is like, oh, they're not, it's not plus. But I guess the situation that you're in here, because of the extra pushback from them jumping, you're in much better spot, you know? Like it pushes them really far back, and they're way less, it's way more, it's not anywhere near as minus on block as it used to be. So this move, honestly, isn't bad as an anti-air. Not gonna lie. And this move too. If they're jumping for some reason over here, I don't know why they'd be jumping, but you can just hit them out of the air with this, like it's an anti-air. So if they try to jump out of this move, if they try to jump out of your normals because you've been doing Mikkel Sword, you can just punish them with this. Like they'll be an air dash lag and they'll just get punished with this. Or they will have to air block it if they're lucky. So that's what like the S Icicle is for. It's a little bit more niche. And of course you have the applications in combos, but in general you want to use this move, but you can't always use this move. Because this move is only like -5 and it pushes them full screen. But you can't always use this move. So a lot of times Icicle is good. And the great thing about Icicle is, I said this in my other video, Icicle PRC forward is extremely strong. Just as an option. It's kind of like Zato Drill. This move, I'd say treat it like Zato Drill. It's not as plus when meaty, but you get Ice Floor when meaty, and it's not as powerful on it is just as powerful on hit. It's more powerful on hit. If they don't block ice, if they don't block ice, you can get some absurd conversions off of this. I think at the very least you get this combo. But I think you can actually get more off of raw ice on hit. Wait, let me just I swear you can get like off of just raw ice on hit, you can get a refreeze. Or you can get a restand. A second one. Oh wait, what am I doing with S Sword Toss? But yeah, in general, just like this is super high reward on hit, super high reward on block, and you get this. I guess you can't get what I was talking about. Oh no, you can. You can. Okay. That's the funny thing. You can get this. Oh wait, what? Oh yeah, if you break ice too quickly, like if you break ice too quickly for some reason, like if you break it too quickly, you don't get like hard knockdown and stuff. You don't get the same knockdown. See how it wasn't a hard knockdown? You could actually use that here to get this setup, to get the same throw setup here. But that's besides the point. The point is that this is extremely good on hit. Essentially, anytime you land this move, you do insane things. I'm pretty sure off of my Kel Sword you can even link. It's a really type link, but you can even link it. I know there's this combo. That combo can freeze. But yeah, like, just adding into freeze, even just getting, like, something as simple as this. And then you get super there. And, like, obviously, nothing wild off of super, but off a super hard knockdown break. But you get positive bonus, and you're a zoner. Here's one thing that I haven't thought of, actually. I do want to see if I can do Icicle Meaty off of this. Because if you can do Icicle Meaty after hard knockdown wall break, that's probably better than a lot of other options. Why is this... There it is. Okay. We're doing live labbing mid-video. Yeah, you can. So there, you just do Icicle Meaty, honestly. Against, if you want to zone, rather than even setting up fish, it's probably better for you to just go Icicle Meaty and then take the plus frames and then take the free ice. And now you have positive bonus and ice. Like, I don't know how else to tell you that getting conversions off of your ice and being in positive bonus is a bad thing. Honestly, getting ice and then getting positive bonus, go into wings, you could probably just zone them from full screen and, like, what are they going to do? They have to run at you like an idiot, because if they don't, then wings are going to activate and they die. As you can see here, they just die. That was a 50 meter and a throw. So that might be an actually good situation to use ice, to use wings for, because like at full screen, like what are they gonna do if you do plus on block move that they can't run after this plus on block move, because, you know, what if you do this? What if you do that? Then they get hit, and oh wait, don't leave. And you already saw that if they get hit by this move. If they get hit by this move, they take an insane amount of damage. If they get frozen by just this move because they mashed after 5H, they take a ridiculous amount of damage. And then into super. And look at that corner carry and damage. That's the crazy part. Corner carry is the crazy part, because we already talked about in my last video about how stupid Chestnuts is. How this move here is basically just at close range. It's basically just a frame 15 overhead. It's just a frame 15 overhead because they have to block it standing. Otherwise this move loops into itself. And even if they don't, you can still... usually you have to block this standing and then crouch block, because this is a frame trap. Even if you stand, 2k frame traps off of Chestnuts. So we already talked about how stupid this move is. Just doing loops with this move and close slash dash cancel. I've gotten better at this. For some reason, I can do DP motion. I can do dash cancel with the DP motion, but not with a this one. You can do close slash dash cancel and 5k dash cancel, just loops forever. They have to mash in between they have to 6p in between the 5k and the Chestnuts. It's really stupid. Her up close corner pressure is so good, and then when she hits you, most of the time it would be super bad. For most other characters, it would be super bad when she hits you and she has to take hard knockdown wall break, but she doesn't have to take hard knockdown wall break. That's what makes this character so stupid. Is because when she hits you, she does something completely different. And that can freeze. And the thing is, like, it's not easy to do, but you can get these hitboxes where you freeze, and then you get a wall slump, and let's just say you get 4-way mix off of wall slump. And in the corner, I'm currently working on labbing a 4-way mix off of this setup here, because honestly, Kai can't even 5p this fish here, so you might get something. But so look forward to that. But for now, just know that the fact that even if the damage isn't actually insane, like all of the other characters that you've seen today, that you've seen in Season 4, the damage doesn't really matter because this is nice damage. She can like 4-touch you with off of Icicle, and it puts you in your best situation. It puts you in your best situation, and it gives you insane corner carry. Like, you saw that. That was like corner to corner, straight up. That was like straight up, like corner to corner. I don't even know if... Can you even do this off of a S-Icicle? Wait. That was like legitimately corner to corner. And like, it doesn't matter if because of how much range this has, you're gonna end up with your opponent in the corner after the end of this combo or through the wall. If you can break the wall, and there's also like certain things like if you can break the wall here like that, then you get a wall slump. It's so easy to get a wall slump with this character because of her stuff, and wall slumping in somebody in the corner is insane. And even if you can't wall slump them in the corner, you just do super wall break and start zoning again with positive bonus and ice floor. Positive bonus and ice floor. What do they do here? They're just dead. Kai is just lost. He's gone. He's done. Dunzos. Like, he's actually just dead. There's nothing he can do. He has to outplay you so many times. Like, that was your game to lose in that situation. So that's the main idea behind Dizzy Neutral. I do want to cover Round Start because it is the first interaction in the game, and you can just die off Round Start because you're Dizzy. And this is Strive. Round Start, I'd say Walk Back 2D is the GOAT. This beats everything. You have this option. I do like this option. So just jumping. Dizzy's air dash is really bad. Her forward air dash is really bad, but her back air dash is normal. And her air normals are kind of insane. None of them hit crouchers other than JK and JP. That is the big thing. That is like the drawback. But this move is insane. I played Test My Luck, who is the he's the GOAT who opened my eyes, enlightened me that Dizzy is actually in fact a zoner and not a mixed character. And he did this to my Mei, and it beat like so many things it just shouldn't beat. This move, like every interaction with this move feels like whenever Mei 3K anti-airs, and you're like, what? Why is that move an anti-air? It's this move, just why does it win? Why does it beat everything? JH is also huge, but and you get a crazy combo off of it. JK is like a normal, but like, and like you have like JP moving, and you have like JP. JK it can be actually used for fuzzy instant overheads. Her air normals are really good. So jumping in general on Round Start, and then I like this JD just because it mixes up your movement. It mixes up your movement, baits 6Ps and stuff. It just loses really hard if because look at how much end lag they have. This move has a lot of end lag. If you do it like low here, like you can block this and it has like no shield stun. This move is also like I don't know how to use this in neutral. Sometimes Test My Luck does this in neutral because and I don't understand what this does. I get like against Eno, this is really good because the JD covers a lot. It demands a lot of space, and like if you JD here, if you have a JD set up here, Eno has to dash into it and eat the plus frames because he air blocked it, or she has to stroke under it, and then you can bait out the stroke, you know, with like a 2S or a 5H. These two moves are really good for baiting out lows. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the 2H anti-airs. It's slow, but as a preemptive anti-air, it's big and it does a lot of damage. That's all you need to know. But on Round Start, I like to do a lot of Microdash 5K too, because this has really high reward because you get this setup. And it beats everything because this 5K anti-airs. Like if you're still skeptical on me about this 5K anti-airing, I'm just gonna show you just by jumping. I'm gonna show you how high this move hits. You see that? You see that? Like you see that, bro? Look at how high this move hits. Look at how high the move hits. It's pretty ridiculous, and you get a full combo off of this, by the way. Even if you're like super far away, that works. Into this combo, and you get refreeze if they don't splat there. And at most ranges, you're gonna be able to get 5H microdash into close slash, or 5K microdash close slash into this combo. So that did a little bit of damage, as you can see. Kai isn't even middle of the pack health. It's actually Ram. Kai has significantly above average health now. So yeah, that is what above average health versus 5K looks like. And like usually this move counter hits because usually you're hitting like IED normals. And on counter hit, it's even easier to hit confirm this. You can like accidentally get a dash cancel and still get something off of this. Like it's crazy. Most of the time I end up hitting them really far away and high, and I just do like micro dash into close slash. And you get like this whole combo. It's really crazy. This move is actually insane. If you're not using it, then you're missing out. And like, yeah, 5P always combos into close slash, so like you don't have to worry about like having to go into 6H. But I mean, the damage difference between 6H and close slash 2H is not that high. So, and you add on the reward of the fact that it hits out here. And the fact that even if you do, you can do this and it does more damage than 5P does. Because it has 5K scaling instead of 5P scaling. I really think 5K is legitimately just the move. 6P, honestly, 6P is the best used to beat grounded normals. Honestly. To beat grounded normals, if you want to like... let's force counter hit here. If you want to be like Kai Fire Slash into this... This is pretty high reward. And like that's 6P scaling, so like you gotta realize that like you do this move. Maybe you can do this move into H Mikkel Sword actually. Because a lot of times you can do counter hit H Mikkel Sword and then get a freeze off of it. I don't think so. Maybe you can, because a lot of these H Mikkel Sword into pickup into icicles are really hard to get because they're like frame tight. They're like super frame tight. But at the very least, you get this. You get this amazing cancel into insane corner carry and a refreeze like that. Which is really important, honestly. I think this is a that is honestly like your best bet. Like, and sometimes if it's like over here, you might be able to combo into if it's like far reaching, you might be able to combo into this, get even more damage. But that's honestly your best use for 6P. Even if they air dash at you, doing 5P or 5K, it's a little bit harder to do 5K on an air dash. If you have a slow reaction time. I don't. I pretty notoriously on Twitch chat, everyone knows that I do not have a bad reaction time. So I can still 5K really consistently. If you can't do 5P, if you really, really have a hard time beating air dashes, 6P is technically like 2 frames faster than 5P, or at least its invincibility is. But like, even if they're air dashing at you, 5P and JK are the GOAT. And that's like basically the game plan, right? Like you go on round start, you want to either get a knockdown like this, do some funny mix, go for like a strike throw setup. Go for like a strike throw setup, and then like if you land it, then you go into this move and either break the wall or just and you either break the wall, do over half their health and break the wall into positive bonus, and then here you just kind of like either dash forward 5k, do it again, or you backdash, or you like start, or you back up and try to chestnuts. And that's like really all it is. That's all the RPS after wall break is with no hard knockdown. And with hard knockdown, I already explained how crazy that is. Wild Assault can be used for like pressure strings. I think you can do, I think this is actually like a combo. Yeah, this is like I think your optimal route actually off of close slash counter hit. But yeah, like, it's just like you do a ton of damage when you break wall. So then you just either, like I said, either dash 5k to just do it again to them, or you back off and do fire and do chestnuts. And this combination of just zoning and doing insane damage when she gets in, doing not insane damage, but doing really good damage when she gets in, and then setting up amazing situations that she can loop off of every hit. No matter what you do, you can always get some sort of loop. The hardest one I'd say is forcing wall slumps in the corner, and it's not even that hard. It's not even that hard. The majority of the time, you will either have a way to break, unless you hit them on round start, you'll either have a way to break the wall with hard knockdown and set up an amazing situation that way through your zoning, or you'll be able to slump and do like 4-way mix. Oh yeah. I guess if instead of doing S spike to meaty, you want to do H spike because H spike gives you more damage. I'm pretty sure. Either the move does more damage or like when I do this move for some reason I can't get this. I can't get wait, let me reset. I can't get this combo off of S spike. And like there are tons of stuff that you can do if you really want to optimize. If you really want to optimize if you really want to optimize her, if you really want to optimize her damage off of freeze setups, you can do like air dash JH and stuff like that to get more damage. But honestly, just this setup here is so good and so easy to do. Once you get past the barrier of landing Mikkel Sword. Because like the worst case scenario is here you miss the Mikkel Sword, they block it, and you slide towards them while being minus. And then it's like, okay, hit 5k if they're really far away and try to back off, and like it sucks. But like, just make sure that you're really good at this. If you're really good at this, which like I said, I haven't actually been zoning for a long time, so I haven't been doing zoning for a long time, so I'm not great at this conversion. And that's just because I haven't been. I've been trying to play her like a rushdown character all this time. But if you're really good at this, it's not so hard. It's pretty hard, but it's not so hard to do this combo as like this combo, hitting this every time is infinitely easier than hitting like a Zato BNB once. So like, it's fine. This is like the one hard thing that you gotta learn. Hard, in quotation marks, like, obviously, it depends on the player skill level. How good are you at doing combos? But, like, if you can land this consistently, then you don't need to worry about anything else. The other stuff off of ice is, like, very position dependent. Like, it's a lot harder to get an air dash. Like, you can't get an air dash combo off at this far away. You cannot. Maybe you could get, like, a JS, but, like, but at any length, no matter where you are on screen, you can always get freeze ice floor into Mikkel Sword, microdash Mikkel Sword. Which, by the way, you kind of need a dash macro for this character. Honestly, if you don't have a dash macro set up, what are you, a Nago main? Get good, get a dash macro. Get good at get a dash macro. Like those are your options. I hate to break it to you. I can't imagine doing this combo. I actually can't imagine doing this combo without a dash macro. I feel like that would be really hard. But with the dash macro, you just tap it. Like I said, it's like a really small dash. It's like this. If you, all you Mei players out there, you know, after counter hit Dolphin into OHK, microdash 5P6H, You guys know that combo. It's similar to that. It just doesn't look like I'm doing such a tiny microdash because the ice actually makes me slide forward a bunch. I think that's most of what I wanted to say. The biggest thing, the biggest game. Let's talk about game winning situations. I know I've talked about them quite a bit, but those re-ice setups that I was showing you are part of are one of them. When you get set into ice, when there's like ice full screen over here, and you've already taken a bunch of damage from the Mikkel sword setups, and then I land one more hit and get, and then of course, all I do is land one more hit into another setup, and you die, and then you're in the corner. And of course, you know from the pressure guide, you can do stuff like this, and you can use Icicle PRC forward to get in once you're done frame trapping. But there's a few other winning game states, and I want to talk about them. One of your winning game states is when your opponent is low on resources. I recently watched a Diaphone video about his Wings of Light setup. Pretty good video. I don't like Wings of Light, but I have to admit that when your opponent is low on meter, on the other side of the screen, you can set up Wings of Light, and they have to approach you here if they don't have burst. If they have burst, they can just burst the moment that you get in range with the wings active. But if they don't have burst, and if they don't have meter, and they especially don't have burst, wings can be actually pretty good. If you've got like 50 meter, throwing this out, and then like throwing out zoning tools, because zoning tools build your meter for you in this game, because this game is Strive, and in order to have the zoners be remotely good, they had to do that. You just get meter, and they have to approach you, because if they don't have burst and they don't have like YRC, even if they do have YRC and you're far away, if you're far away from them, like what are they gonna do? If they can't YRC you, they have to get in first to YRC you. So they have to approach you, which makes them do dumb things. And then you could essentially play the mix-up of, am I going to keep doing this block string, or am I going to throw you? Because throw beats YRC. And, of course, if they throw tech, then it gets rid of the wings. But even if it gets rid of the wings, you don't lose your meter until the wings activate. So honestly, having the wings activate for just a little bit to, like, drain your meter and having them not do anything is the biggest problem, is if the wings don't do any damage. That's the biggest issue. But, like, that's a winning game state. It's more like a win more because your opponent needs... They can't really have full health, because if they have full health, wings is only threatening if you have 100 meter. They can't have burst, and it's kind of incentivized that you don't really want them to have meter for YRC either. So it's a very specific situation, but wings are good in that situation. The other winning game state is mix. So I've already talked about four-way throw setups. You get mix essentially into this. And that's what happens if they mash. But if they don't mash, and I go for the throw, I should be able to still do the throw, and I go for the throw on this setup, I'll just do this setup, and then you go for throw, then they take more damage, and now they have to eat it again, and I'm already talking about, I think I might be able to set up a four-way mix here. No guaranteed, because I haven't labbed out everything, but I can tell you that this might be an actual real setup where you could do cross-up overhead and other stuff. So, like, in the corner, you could mix them, and then there's also... wall slumps. So you can do that, and that'll wall slump. And other stuff, like if you have fish, you can get a wall slump off of like freaking 2K. Yeah. If you have P-fish up here, you can get a wall slump off of 2K. And if you watch my pressure guide, which you should, you can get everything off of this. Actually, this setup here where you wall slump into fish, where you get a wall slump like this. What is it? All right. Wait, nope. Sorry. Why am I in button settings, bro? Make fun of this user. Anyways, if you get this freeze set up here, this is another win condition because like you can do what I didn't realize is first of all, you have the obvious wings of light setup that I showed you in the other video for a brief moment. Because of how much time you have here. But the other thing that you have is actually you can freeze. You can do 236HH in a freeze. And even if so like even if let's say I do a much smaller combo, I can do this. If there's any amount of wall damage here, this combo here is actually going to freeze. It's going to wall splat. If there's any amount of damage. Like if I do like that, and then I go, then a wall splat. Like between all of this and doing 2S2H, you can go into this setup and then close slash 2S them to get the setup. And then after 2S, you can cancel into 22H. And then you can set up a little chomper that'll pull them out of the corner, and you get four-way mix that way. So that's the other, that's the other one is you get them in the corner and you mix them up, and then you make it count. That's the important part. Like, yeah, sure, it is really funny that you can get cross-up overhead here, but what do you get off of cross-up overhead? You get like JK close slash. No, not even. Can you even get JK close slash? No. You get like JK 5K 2D. And that's it. That's it. So, honestly, going for just like a high-low here is pretty good because at least off of that, you can go for 2D. You can go for like... Oh, you can't do that? No, you can't. Okay. But, like, you can go for, like... You can go for, like, better mix off of things a lot of the times with, like, fuzzy... For, like... Actually, no, I take that back. You go for mix. The mix builds meter. That's what it is. I remember this. The mix builds meter. That's what's so deadly. Is the mix here to last forever, and it builds meter. And it is safe. And then it builds meter, and then you hard knock down wall break. Or and do like 40% of their HP, and then you do this, and then now all of a sudden every single hit is death, and that was death. That was death. Like if I had actually converted off of that correctly. So that's what it is. Like that's how you win off of like this. You go like 214K, and then you land your one hit, and then you go. And then you can break wall. And I think the biggest thing here is that you want to be able to end off with a slump, so that way you can build meter, and then the next time you hit, you kill them. Did I just... Wait a second, what? I'm pretty sure I just... Okay, no. Doesn't matter. And then, of course... That thing that I showed you with Wild Assault is also really good for this character, because not only do you get on hit, do you get Wild Assault 6H? Oh, you don't. Wait, you don't? I thought for sure on hit you got Wild Assault 6H. Well, you get it on Charge 6 Wild Assault. But this is really good. If it's not really good on hit, I'm wrong about that, sorry. It is really good on block. Because this just like has basically no gaps. And it's kind of weird because I think you might be able to throw this. I don't know. Let me check that actually. That's important. If you can throw it in the corner. After block, we're gonna go for a good old throw. And this is, I think, the last important part, is you have to know how to use Wild Assault. Oh. Oh, wait. Okay, I'll just do it raw. So yeah, no, it frame traps even throws. So this is really good. Because, if you didn't know, you get this combo. So, yeah. And this combo actually, just in case you wanted to, just in case you wanted to off this combo, you can even slump. I don't think you would slump off this combo because I think this is actually at a high enough percent where like you can start going for just wall break. But like, let's say like that's enough damage. But like, let's say you really wanted to slump off this combo, you can still do it. You can still slump off this combo because this game is amazing. You can still slump off of it, and you get that crazy slump setup where you get ice. And now, the biggest reason why you want ice in the slump setup is because it adds a mental stack to the equation, and it doesn't add a mental stack. What it does is it essentially means that throw is a threat, right? Or wait, actually, no. Throw will run out. It'll run out before throw. Well, there is the fact that it does build meter when you do that. Does it? Actually, what? It doesn't? Well, I can at the very least tell you that ice increases pressure on FD. All my things are wrong. All my assumptions are wrong. I should have labbed more, obviously. But on FD, like there I didn't do any dashes. That was all from the first dash. So that is part of what's good. It makes like fireball pressure kind of crazy. So it gives you another option. So like you might as well do it, right? I mean, you might as well do it and then do mix and then go into crazy pressure with dash momentum. And like also you'll get dash momentum. I'm pretty sure off of ice you get dash momentum even when you like dash cancel. Okay. Even when you like dash cancel, you should get crazy dash momentum. So like you can do like dash cancel, you can do like 5k dash cancel into this, and it's more likely to keep you up close, so you can keep doing pressure. So like I said, at the very least, ice makes you a lot harder, makes some of your pressure a lot better. And it's more like a why not, honestly, in my case, because you know you get the slump, and you have so much time with this freeze slump that you might as well do this, you might as well do this, you might as well do this, you know? And you can't set up both fishies on slumps, sadly. I'll do a whole video on this pressure, along with this setup here. Just four-way mix-ups in general, I think, are really strong for this character in the corner. Combine that with her amazing strike throw, and you have a truly terrifying character in the corner, who's also truly terrifying from this range, who has decent buttons in the mid-range, and who has insane offense up close even without mix, and who also has really good corner carry to get you in the corner. So that's your basic game plan. You know, I've been saying this for a while, but your basic game plan is to either get a hit on round start or to get away on round start and start zoning. That's your idea. That is the, I think, optimal peak Dizzy. And then, of course, you use those crazy mix-ups. You use those crazy mix-ups to end rounds, because it doesn't matter that you only get that off of this, that you only get air dash back, that you only get like 2 hits off of air dash back JK. It doesn't matter that you only get like JK 2K2D or like JK. Like if I do like this setup. By the way, if you're doing this setup, you can do a dash. If you do a dash, do a dash jump, and the reason why that's good is it'll delay your low a little bit, so that way your low won't be a true string, but if you true string the low, if you actually true string the low here, it isn't a true 50-50 with the overhead. So your low was gonna lose if you want it to be a true 50-50 anyways. So you might as well do the dash jump, which the overhead is still safe, but the low is not safe. But like even if you get this dash air dash JK, like into this combo. It doesn't matter that you get like nothing here, because you can do the because if the round ends, you win, right? So this mix-up is still good in those types of situations. It's still reversal safe. It's still reversal safe. It's still it's still reversal safe. It's still YRC safe. It is still a 50-50. So it's good for that type of stuff. And in the corner, any hit builds meter. And if you have meter, then you break wall with meter. And honestly, breaking wall with meter, the crazy part about breaking wall with meter isn't actually the situation afterwards. Because we all know she doesn't get anything, that much of anything off of it, right? But if she breaks wall with meter, she does get a ton of damage. It's always good damage. It's always good damage. And then she gets a great situation here. And that's actually even more reason to not use 100 meter super, because unless 100 meter super kills, which it never kills for some reason, I don't know why. Some idiots at Arxis decided that her 100 meter super needed to be way worse than every other 100 meter super. But her 100 meter super, unless you're gonna finish the round with it, there's not really a good point to doing it, because you can just break the wall with hard knockdown, get that amazing situation, and then have meter to back you up afterwards. And if you get a hit, then they die. Because, like, remember, the setup after hard knockdown wall break is ice floor. It's a icicle meaty to push them to as far away as possible into ice floor. And then any hit you can do, and then any hit leads into a full combo that you can end with super and kill them. So yeah, there it is. I've done my quota for the day. I've told you about everything, shared some new funny mix, gave some advice, and I think that this is a comprehensive guide on how to do Dizzy neutral. But there's one more thing I want to tell you about, and these are characters that I will tell you to not zone. They're characters that I have only found success rushdowning. So you have Potemkin. This is pretty obvious. He just super armors through all your stuff. One thing you can do is if you get a fish out in neutral, he can't really poke at the fish because his pokes are all garbage because he's Potemkin. So if he tries to do any pokes, you can punish him for it. And then if he does like Slide Head or Hammerfall, you can do Mikkel Sword and get a free counter hit because the fish will hit him and then Mikkel Sword will hit him and you get a free counter hit. That's my biggest like goal you can do, and that's the only way I could really see threatening that option is the only way I could see you zoning this character. The other characters that are hard to zone, I'll give you the character that's impossible to zone. I don't have him unlocked, but Bedman. Bedman just out projectiles you. So honestly, with Bedman, if there's a large enough gap, sometimes you can do Icicle 236H and hit him. But most of the time, you're just dash blocking at Bedman until you get in, and then you mix him to death because he's Bedman. There's Milia you have to be careful with because she's a triple jump, so she can get over your stuff. She's kind of hard to do stuff with, but Chestnuts does kind of lock her down. If she doesn't triple jump, if she doesn't jump, double jump, and then jump right as you do Chestnuts, she doesn't really get past it, and her air dashing past it doesn't really work. So you can zone her. You can't zone Nago. Honestly, Nago, what I'd say for Nago, do S Ice Spike and H Ice Spike, and to call out his Clone Fukio forward, because that's his main approach option, and if you call it out, then he wastes 2 blood and you get a full combo. But you don't zone him. You wait for him to try and get in. Chip is just so fast that you have to be really careful when you do it. Unless you're like full screen, don't throw out Chestnuts. He might just run full screen and far slash you and get a full combo. You have to be careful when zoning this character. It's not really a win condition. It's more like a means to get to an end. Like you want to get close to Abba to mix her to death. And your zoning is a tool to get you close to her, not a tool to keep her out. And obviously, Axel. This matchup is probably terrible, honestly. I don't really know how to play against Axel. You just have to get in. And like, then there's obviously the characters that have options to get underneath chestnuts and fish, and these guys get in and they kill you for it. And it's like that's their win condition, but you can still zone them. And Geo's obviously same thing with Chip, really fast. Just be careful. But I think that's all. Like you can zone out this guy, you can zone out this guy. You have to be a little careful with him because he has a misfinder. You can zone out a lot of characters. Happy Chaos you have to be careful with because he's got gun and stuff. Just don't try to zone while you're curse balled. As soon as you get curse balled, don't zone anymore because you will get clowned on. But in general, your zoning is actually stronger than Happy Chaos zoning. I'd say, so you can actually outzone him if you can avoid the curse ball. It's just like honestly, it's just like waiting for him to try to throw curse ball and then just hitting him with the H spike, and he just takes a billion damage for it. You just call out the curse ball and everything's good. That's all. I hope you liked it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All the YouTube things. I have a Twitch. Watch my Twitch. And in the link below, I'm gonna link test my luck. His Twitch channel. Epic dude, awesome dude to watch, and he taught me the way how to zone with Dizzy, mostly by whipping my May's ass with his Dizzy, and really good player. And also gonna be labbing setups and stuff. He's trying to learn more mix and less zoning because he's got the zoning down. I'd really recommend checking him out. Really cool dude. Awesome Dizzy. But that's all. Goodbye.